Welcome to the Mind, Body, and Soul Show on Real Coaching Radio Network. How would you like to attempt to demystify with us the realms of the mind, body, and soul to bring you a more holistic and balanced way of living? Healthier in all realms of the psyche, the spirit, and the body. Here is your host and executive producer, Coach Steve Toth.
Where that whole cycle of reincarnation comes in, and my work really is contingent on the understanding that we don't go around just one time. Because many people, they say, well, I don't believe in past lives. And that's okay. They don't really have to believe in past lives to benefit from my work, but it really helps them to understand if you do something and you create a wound, or in many forms of spiritual practice call it karma. You create something on the earth plane, then you've got to come back and fix it. Once you make your transition into another reality, or you die, or whatever you want to call it, you're sitting up on a cloud in heaven and playing your harp. There's not a darn thing you can do about the damage that you caused when you were here on earth, the hurt and the pain that you might have caused to other people or yourselves. So what Interspeak does is it takes a client back to a place where they stored a belief, or they created a wound and stored it inside their physicality, either body, mind, or spirit. And what that wound does is it prevents them from doing the conscious creation of the reality that they want. So an example that would help to portray the concept would be that somewhere along the way I internalized an inappropriate belief that I can't do it by myself. I need somebody to show me how to do it. So then I would spend my lifetime, up to the point that I realized I was running that program, expecting other people to always tell me what to do, giving my power away to other people. And then if I wake up and I realize that that's not serving me, then I can go back and figure out somehow where I created that old belief, that old tape that's running around in my head, and let it go there. And that's what has to be done. And that's what Interspeak does. It's a very simple process that, it takes a matter of, half hour, probably at the most, to really drill down into finding where the inappropriate beliefs were set up. And then I take that to another level with my coaching work, because the old saying, as above, so below. So we have to deal with both the microcosm and the macrocosm in order to create reality. We've got to clean up the inside, the subconscious mind, to align it with what we want to manifest in the outer world. And so that's why I work with people on both levels, inner and outer.
Yes, absolutely. That's very fascinating, and it's really very much the same thing that the work that I'm involved in with Dr. Dean Allen, which is about taking the 23 glands in our bodies and have an understanding that those glands have an emotional equivalent. And the reason why most people are not able to process their emotional lives is why people are confused and stuck. Because the body is continuously trying to and attempting to create homeostasis. And and it all goes back to what you said. I mean, I'm so fascinated by what you're doing, because it's the same thing, just you're doing it a different way.
And I'm not the only one that has created a method that does this kind of thing. Because I've got a couple of radio shows myself, and I'm always interviewing authors and people of consciousness who have a message to be brought forth, just like what you're doing here today. And I'm continually finding, I found one this past week, a gentleman by the name of Bradley Nelson, and he's developed something called the Emotion Code. And, it's another just beautifully simplistic way of going to the place where we stored this old emotional wounding so that you can release it and let it go. And that's really what has to happen. I hadn't thought about working with glands, probably because I don't know that much biology, but, my belief system has taught me that the place where we store these old wounds and old judgments and old programs is either in the chakra system or in the acupuncture meridian system. And again, and those things can be in either the physical body or one of the etheric bodies, the spiritual body, the mental body, or the emotional body. And that's where we keep this debris or junk. And when I look in someone's field, this stuff looks like shapes to me. Many of them look like platonic solids or geometric shapes, and so I can look inside someone's field energetically, and I see all this stuff.
You're listening to Real Coaching Radio, building a positive network.